Hey there, has God put a desire in your heart to share your testimony and write a book? And every time you sit down to do it, though, you just can't get started. You don't even know where to start, what to write, what stories to tell. And then you start to question whether or not anybody would even want to hear it or whether or not that story even matters. Well, I'm here to tell you that that story does matter and people are waiting for your story, and it's not as difficult as you think with a little bit of guidance. So, in this video, I'm going to share 3 tips with you on how to get started writing your book so that you're off to the races and soon becoming a published author. Hi, my name is Steve Hopper. I'm an international speaker, author, and coach, and I'm one of the co founders of Kingdom Influencer. And in Kingdom Influencer, what we do is we help Christians get their testimonies out to the masses. We help them build out that platform, everything from speaking from stage to utilizing their social media to podcasting and writing, publishing, and marketing their books to get their testimonies out to the masses. Now, when we first sit down with a client to work on their book, I focus on 3 key things with them in that first session. One is, why are you writing this book? Now, obviously, there are a lot of benefits to you to write a book. You're going to build credibility. It's going to create opportunity. It's going to open doors, but it's not about you. Your book is about your reader. It's about your audience. So who is that reader? Who's going to benefit the most from your story and the lessons that you've learned in your journey and in your life and the lessons that you're going to teach in this book? So who is that reader? And then what do you want that reader to receive from this book? What do you want them to experience? How do you want them to think and feel or act differently after they have read what you've shared with them? So that is the reason that you are writing the book, and that is the why for the book, is how it's going to impact and change lives. And so you want to focus on who that person is and what it is that you want them to accomplish. Now, after we've done that, then we're going to lay out your core message. And your core message, every book has a core message, and your core message is going to be everything in that book. The stories that you're going to tell and the lessons that you're going to teach and things are all going to kind of direct back to that core message. So, an example of a core message might be, this book helps Christians identify and walk into the calling that God has for their life. Or maybe this book helps people that are victims of abuse to heal, walk in wholeness, and experience joy and peace in their life. All right. And so those are just a couple of examples of what a core message for your book may look like. Now, obviously, you're going to be the one to define what that core message is. And then again, everything points back to that core message. And then the third thing, after we've defined the why and defined the core message, is to outline the book. And I'm going to keep it very plain and simple for you here. If we're looking at a 10 to 12 chapter book, then the first half of the book, the first 5 or 6 chapters, are going to be your story, your journey, defining moments that helped to shape your life. And then chapters, 6 through 10 or 7 through 12 are ultimately going to be the lessons that you've learned in your journey thus far. Okay. And so, what have you learned from your experience? That's going to make up the second half of the book. What are you going to teach to them? So, what are the 5 or 6 key lessons that you've learned in your life that are a result of those defining moments that took place in your life that you're going to pass on to that reader, that's going to help make them better, help them grow, etc.? So, the first half of the book is you, all about you, your story, your journey, defining moments. And the second half of the book is all about them and what you want to share with them that's going to help take them to the next level. Habakkuk 2:2 says, create a vision, keep it plain. So I hope this video was simple and plain enough for you. You got the vision. Just go define that why, define that core message, outline those 12 chapters, your life, and then the lessons that you learned along the way, and then just take it chapter by chapter. Chapter 1, chapter 2. All right. So I hope this served you well. And if it did, please like, share, subscribe, Somebody in your friends list right now has a desire in their heart to write a book and they don't even know where to start. And you could share out this video, they could see it, and it could completely change their life or at least get them motivated to head in that direction. And if you would like some assistance in getting that book of yours done, outlined, all of that good stuff, we have a lot of resources at kingdom-influencer.com. You can also connect with me personally there, and you can even schedule a complimentary Zoom with me where we can discuss your book and get you headed in the right direction. So go take advantage of that. I hope this served you well. God bless, and we'll see you soon.